This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live on this beautiful Thursday, Throwback Thursday. I'm your host, Stephen D. Super excited that y'all are hanging out with me right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, home of the #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Y'all having a good day? We ready for the day? Are you ready for today? Well, I really hope that you're ready for today because I am, and we're going to have a great show today. It's going to be a lot of fun hanging out with y'all, the fans. Okay. Want to say hello to everybody, all my Finlaws, all my family, Pete with a PH, that is. I'm your host, Stephen Daniels. You can follow me on social media at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Make sure y'all do that there, okay? Also, want to make sure you follow social media for Miami Sports Music on Twitter at MIA Sports Music, and also everything else at Miami Sports Music. You guys see right below on the screen there. You will be good to go. On your way in, make sure you hit the like button. Give us the big thumbs up. That helps us. It's big. If you guys don't donate to the channel or anything like that, that's fine. But you can help us by hitting the like button, and you can help us by subscribing to the channel. We're like 300 subscribers away from like 9,000, I think, somewhere in that range. So please subscribe to the channel and tell your brother, your mother, your sister, your cousin, everybody, subscribe to the channel. Okay? Subscribe. Make sure y'all do that. It'll be a lot of good stuff there. Also, wanted to make sure that you also sign up, become a member today, become part of the family. Let me use my voice here.
Family. Become part of the family.
Make sure you guys sign up now, become part of the family. There are plenty of seats at the table waiting for you, and I would love for you to sign up because we're going to have some really cool stuff for members only this year. We're going to take advantage of people that are members only, and we're going to do members only stuff. So make sure that you guys sign up, become members today of the channel. Okay. I'm going to say hello to everybody in the chat here in a minute. I just want to finish up the rundown. Want to remind you guys, you can help the channel grow by donating to the channel. You can use the YouTube live super chat or super sticker or super thanks. In this particular case, if you're watching live, you can see it. It's the $ below the bottom of the chat. You can hit that and you'll be good to go. You can also use Cash App and PayPal. Cash App is $MSM Podcast Network. You can use the QR code below. And you can also use PayPal, which is also MSM Podcast Network. You can also use this QR code below. So I want to remind you all of that. Okay. Also, hey, look, give a big shout out to our sponsors of the show, ZSM Sports. If you need any sports memorabilia needs, go check out Zachary over at ZSM Sports. Absolutely amazing guy. Go follow him on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ZSM Sports. Okay. Also, Tail Greeter. Tail Greeter is absolutely amazing. I can't say not enough good things about Tail Greeter. Make sure you guys go sign up and download the app today on your current Apple or Android device. And understand, if you're going to go to any Dolphins game this year, you need to go tailgate with Tail Greeter. If it's going to be in Miami, it's going to be at East 32 with our boy Cameron. Okay? With our boy Cameron, it's going to be good stuff. Make sure you guys see that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then if you're going to go to Baltimore, and you're going to hang out with me at Baltimore, know that it's the Sunday Tail Greeter VIP tailgate, okay? All you can drink, all you can eat. Alcohol's included. We're going to have a DWA swag bag. It's going to have some really cool autograph items in it, a live pregame show, the Tail Greeter pregame show, a live DJ, special performance by the Honorable Solo D, tailgate games hosted by Miami Sports Music, the Valley Fanatics, and Jimmy's Famous Seafood. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. It's near Lot H. Portion of all the proceeds will go to charity. Okay, so make sure you guys do that. Also, Saturday night meet and greet. It's free to come. It doesn't cost you anything to come out that Saturday night before. We will have food and drinks for sale, like the Jimmy's Famous Seafood. We're going to have a special menu made up for Dolphins fans and drink specials and stuff like that. So we'll have like the Shula Burger or the Perfect Shula Burger or stuff like that. We're going to come up with all sorts of cool names and stuff. We'll have a live DJ Sick Turtle again. We'll have a live podcast with myself through the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. And a portion of all the proceeds will go to charity. So that'll be a lot of fun. So, and again, we'll do another raffle. We'll be doing a raffle for Dolphins items and sports memorabilia, and a portion of all the proceeds again will go to charity. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope that you guys can come out for that. I am super, super excited. All right, let me say hello to everybody that is in the chat this morning. I want to say, let's see here. We got Adam E. Good morning. Bash 305. Raul. What's up, man? Tyler's in the building. Smash that like button. Ace of Spades, hit that like. Two aside, two a squad, two aside packed by week 6. Who's with me? Chef Zhu. Good morning, Stephen D and everyone. And y'all this morning, check your pulse and fins up. Ryan AP, Tailor-Made Jedi, Supreme Leader of the Cult of Tua, Stephen D, we welcome you. What's up, Tailor-Made Jedi? How are you this morning? Ryan AP, Adriel, Jose Valdez, Stevie D, I said Stevie D. You see what I did there? Stevie TV. Andrevius. Love me some Andrevius. That's my guy right there. I love Andrevius. I need Andrevius. Look into my eyes. Andrevius, look in my eyes. I love you, Andrevius. I need you to know that. Okay, as long as we're on the same page. Let's see here. Chef Zhu, Bob Young. Don't nobody want to be no member. Boo. Aldo's in the building. Guys, go check out Hangry Owls. Hopefully we'll be doing some stuff with them this year. But go check, no matter what, go check them out at Pembroke Pines. Hangry Aldo has got the best sub shop in Pembroke Pines. Hangry Owls. Go check them out. They are awesome. Okay. And if you stop by and you say that you watched the Clock Blockers morning show at Hangry Owls in Pembroke Pines, he might throw a little extra on your sandwich or something. I'm just saying, he'll take care of you. He's a good guy. Big Keith with the $5 donation. Thank you very much, Big Keith. I appreciate it. Big Keith 41, excuse me. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. I tell people it goes such a long way into helping the channel grow, so thank you. What up, Big Steve? What's going on? Marino's Goat. 1, 2, 3, 4 Eps is in the building. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4 Eps. Me and my whole family pulling up to East 32 to suplex Mark through a table. LOL. That's between you and Mark. Okay. Let's see here. Big Dougie B. What's up, Big Dougie B? How are you? Good morning. Andrevi says, I hate you. I don't hate you. Don't hate me. I don't hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I especially hate you. That's my Dave Chappelle. I love that scene. Stevie TV says, I know when I'm watching you and I'm doing something and people come up and say, Stephen D, I always think we say this, say my name. Yeah, see? I see. Aldo says, I'll hook it up. See, I told you. He'll take care of y'all. He'll take care of y'all. All right, without further ado, it is Thursday morning. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat and hanging out with me this morning. But I have my producer, my number one producer, good friend of mine. We're forming this relationship. It's very special. Roach. What's up, Roach?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on? Roach is from the I Believe podcast. Make sure you go follow him on his YouTube channel, especially if you're into UFOs, conspiracy theories, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster.
Mysteries,
the Hardy Boys. That's what you should do. You should do a Hardy Boys thing.
I don't like the Hardy Boys.
I love the Hardy Boys, bro.
Really?
I'm not a big reader.
You know who I like? The Winchester brothers.
I have the first 25 books of the Hardy Boys, and I'm so excited for my kid, my son, to read it, and my daughter too. I want both of them to really get into it.
Right.
And Hulu has the Hardy Boys. Like, they have a show. They have the Hardy Boys. It's really good.
I started watching it.
You should. You haven't seen it yet?
No, I watched it, but I like the Nancy Drew show is pretty good too.
Yeah, but it's not the Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys is great.
Yeah, but they don't look like Nancy Drew.
Okay, let's see here, man. Well, what's you been up to? How you been?
Good. My mother-in-law is still in the same condition. No change.
Okay. All right.
So,
prayers out to Roach's mother-in-law, who's in the hospital right now.
My wife's at work and then going straight to the hospital. so I got nothing but time right now.
So you're just here to take your mind off of everything and to just hang out.
No show tonight. I took this week off of my show.
Sometimes you got to take stuff off. Hey, let me tell you, I made some phone calls this morning, and I talked to some people, which is why I was running late. For this Baltimore beatdown.
You kicked me off the phone.
I know. I got some really cool stuff for Baltimore beatdown, y'all. Like, let's just say things are in the works. And at 2:00 this afternoon, I have another big phone call with a current player's manager about possibly coming out to the Saturday night event. So fingers crossed. I don't know if it's going to happen. Probably not. But I think they're going to be able to do some stuff, which I'm pretty excited about. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
We got to do a ghost hunt while I'm in town for the Viking game.
Or for the burial grounds.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. That would be fun.
We just got to sneak in on the grounds on Saturday and then knock it off.
Now people are going to be like, Steven and Roach were there. Oh, yes. Oh, so Andrevius, I do have news about Drewbatron. Okay. I talked to him yesterday. Drewbatron is alive.
But he's in prison.
You know, he took some time off of social media. I for like weeks I had been texting him, and I was like, bro. So I finally I found out, his wife, and I was like, can you just tell Drew if he's alive to let me know that he's okay? And so like 2 minutes later, I get a text from Drew. I'm okay. I'm sorry I haven't responded. I've been MIA. I've been just trying to do my own thing, but I'm alive. Thank you I appreciate it. So as far as I know, Drewbatron is alive. Okay. Drewbatron is alive. He's well.
See, you're already a Hardy boy, bro. You already.
I was doing my detective stuff.
Well, yes, can you find out where Tua's arm strength went? Can you look for that?
See, there you go.
That's a joke. It's a joke.
No,
that is a joke.
I wish I had a thing that I
oh, this.
What was that? There we go. No. There we go. I still have to learn all these things here.
But he don't hear me.
No,
so it's cool.
He doesn't. All right, man. It is the next day. I think it's day 2. It's day 3. Day 3 of training camp for the Miami Dolphins. Yep. Pretty exciting. At 9:45 here in about 5 minutes, it looks like there's going to be another press conference. In the chat, do you guys want me to drop into it live, or do you guys want to just hang out and talk and I bring on people? You guys in the chat, let me know. Do you want to do a panel, or do you want to watch the thing live? Let me know in the chat what you want.
If I get a vote, I vote live. Watch it live.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you can pause it during it, right? You can pause it
sure
and then
yeah,
critique it.
I'm just press conference or panel at 9:45 when it comes on. Triple S Podcast says both. You can't have it both.
Well, you can have a panel, share the screen, and then have everybody be quiet while it's running, and then discuss it.
Well, it's what I did yesterday. I just want to make sure people are good. Just want to make sure people are happy.
That shows I wasn't watching.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, some producer you are. All right, let's see here. Dolphins. There we go. It's just a real chill day today, which I like. I enjoy.
Oh, and I bought a PS5. So, whoever wants to compete in those batting games.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and when are we going to talk about the Fantasy Football League? We need to have that discussion.
What?
Fantasy football.
Well, that's
Mr. Commissioner.
I told you. So I said that I would be commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you got to get Noob and need you all linked up to talk about it.
Look.
Because you're just the rule guy, You're just enforcing.
I'm just enforcing.
Making sure everything's legit.
Gatekeeper, why don't you like Roach? Tell us really why you don't like Roach.
Somebody don't like me?
Yeah.
Who?
Gatekeeper. I need a better sidekick. You think I care what Gatekeeper thinks? I love Roach.
Well, get up here, Gatekeeper. Let's see what we got. Go for it.
Well, we're going to do the press conference first.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure y'all can hear it when it starts. Give me a thumbs up as long as you guys can hear it. Let's be honest. Some of the panel shouldn't be allowed to have opinions. So just show videos today. Andrevius is like, how could you not like Roach? Andrevius says, let me up. All right, fine. I'll let you all up. Here we go. Here we go. We'll check some people in here.
Uh-oh. I like Andrevius.
I like Andrevius too. Andrevius.
Because I think he understands when I'm cracking a joke and when I'm being serious. That's why I like him.
You guys doing IDP? What's IDP? I don't know what IDP is, Aldo.
Is that deep? I ain't gonna finish it.
I don't know what IDP is. What's up, Triple S Podcast? Good morning.
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
I'm good. Just working.
Working.
You guys?
Don't work too hard. Don't
I
work
know,
too hard. All right, Roach Defender Anonymous. That's Andrevius. Hello, Roach Defender.
How could you not like Roach?
I don't know. Steven, get him. This guy's a bum. What? What gatekeeper? I think he's trolling you, bro. I think that's exactly what's happening right now.
But he doesn't realize that. I think it's funny. You know what I mean?
Haters gonna hate.
I don't even agree with most of Roach's dumb opinions on the team, but he's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Is he trying to do the button voice?
I don't know what he's trying to do. Are you? I don't know.
This is not Andrevius.
A voice like this, Andrevius.
This is not Andrevius. I don't know who you're talking about.
You sound like Robin trying to intimidate or impersonate Batman.
He does sound like like. I'm trying to come up with a better name, but he definitely sounds like a weird Robin or Batman. Look, I am a creature of the night. This is Batman.
That's the Batman who caught charges.
No jaywalking on my watch.
Yep. That's the Batman that caught charges because of Robin.
Mike McDaniel. Who's Mike McDaniel?
Just look at the press conference, guys, because I love to be with the fans. Not every now and then, you know, in Miami, I've had a real good experience, and just like to say good morning to everyone.
You know what, Sharif? Good morning to you, my man.
You need to reach out to his agent.
My Mike McDaniel is that bad? Oh, I got to work on my Mike McDaniel.
All right, guys. Everybody put yourselves on mute. Let's go.
Like Connor told us in June that he expects to be a center here. So I was curious what the thinking was with you and Chris in terms of you had the option, you could have brought in someone who had played center, veteran free agent center to compete with Michael Dieter. Why did you decide to move Connor instead of going that other route? Was it just Connor's skill set? You said this is a guy who could be a good NFL center.
Exactly. We weren't signing him to be
Somebody should mute up
center. We're
Steven.
signing an offensive lineman, and we thought his skill set would best be utilized at the center position, with him only having limited reps at it. We wanted to give him a full opportunity to make what we think, what we know. But first and foremost, we weren't going after Connor because it was like, hey, this guy is a center. We think he is a good offensive lineman that can play multiple positions. That's why those type of signings are intriguing, because you can try stuff, and I know he's going to do everything to be the best that he can be at that position. But if the team is better off with him at another position, that's the great thing about Connor, is that he's learning the offense from the inside out at the position where you learn everything.
Totally agree, Coach McDaniel.
You say that would preclude you from looking outside if you say it's late August, early September. There are obviously veteran centers available.
You're just trying to do the best thing that's available to you with your options. So you exhaust everything, and then you're sitting there saying, okay, well, what's better? This scenario where, you get injuries and you have Connor at center and you're signing someone else off the street, or there's somebody from your practice squad or within, or you don't just black and white that to me. And I know that's the way Chris feels as well. The biggest thing is that you exhaust all scenarios so that you can attempt to do the best thing for the Miami Dolphins.
In terms of the position from your scheme, what are you looking for from the center in sort of a wide scheme?
Yeah, there's everybody at every position wants the biggest, fastest, strongest. And so you want someone that can really move. You don't always have to move to be an effective center. There's multiple ways of being a productive player. But in an ideal world, you can do the best job attacking a defense if you have some athleticism at the position, and then you have some strength because it's close quarters contact a lot of times. You have someone breathing on you as close to the ball as any other player on the line of scrimmage, and then you have to learn more about them, and you have to learn. They have to make line calls that 4 other players plus tight ends and are depending on, so that we're all on the same page. That orchestration, especially in modern day NFL, is tough. So you have to know a component of their mental capability as well, which is why Connor was so attracted to us, because it's house money. That's an NFL guard or center, in our opinion.
I wanted to ask you about play call. Will you be speaking directly to relaying the plays to them? And so between now and the first game of the regular season, how do you plan to go about the rehearsal part of that? I haven't been around for a while, so I don't know if I missed some of that, seeing some of that.
Well, you'll be happy to know that work on it every day. That's why you'll see me communicating with the walkie-talkie. That's what's simulating that we communicate as much as possible in that vein, speaker to ear, and they get comfortable hearing, the way that sounds. Words can sound alike. X's sound like F's.
Did he just admit that he's going to be the guy talking to Tua?
How people talk, and you have to get reps and mess it up. And
is that what he
That's why we do it in that fashion. So we're prepared to communicate to each other on game day coming week 1.
That's what it sounds like.
How aggressive do you think your mindset will be? And I know it can vary from game for game, but overarchingly, going for it on 4th down, attacking the sticks early in series, how aggressive do you think you'll be?
I think it's kind of a boring answer, but I'm very careful to not make an absolute, because I think it's important to kind of evaluate the scenario in all given circumstances. Case in point, so by nature I'm an aggressive guy when it comes to football, and like to utilize and make big plays and utilize speed and all that stuff. But there was a transition, an experience that really stood out in 2019. It was the first time that we'd ever coached offense and had a top 10 defense. When you had that, there were certain games that you realize that being aggressive might be an unnecessary risk if the defense isn't going to allow a point, why give them an opportunity. So I think it's important to not pigeonhole yourself. I also think that's a competitive advantage for the Miami Dolphins, because if you have just a type cast of like how you operate, the other team gets paid too, and defensive coordinators probably know that pattern. So I think that's the value of approaching each and every situation independently. I know that I'm aggressive, but I have to take in consideration all things. It's not about offensive stats. It's about winning the football game. And if winning the football game is 3-0, there's no asterisks on that W.
With Melvin, obviously, you got to see him on the field yesterday. A, how did he look after a layoff? And B, what gives you confidence that his level of production will be higher than it was in the last couple of years?
It was really cool to see him yesterday, because his plan was, he was practicing for the first time, but he wasn't scheduled. And he wasn't scheduled. We had planned to not have him in team periods, just so we don't rush the process and make sure we don't put him in harm's way. And he was fighting tooth and nail with the defensive coaches in general, and they thought it was better to add. let the guy in for a couple plays, which I immediately saw and made sure that it was on his agenda, which it was. And that's what you want as a leader on the team or a veteran player that's had production. You want to be on the field. You want younger players to understand it's a privilege to be on the
Who is
field.
this about?
And with regard to his how I feel about him moving forward,
Who's he talking
to me,
about right now?
I didn't really
Hold on, I'll find out.
necessarily. I don't even know how many sacks he totally had because I don't look at it that way. My job is to study the player, and what I saw was he had a lot of impact. Specifically, he was a better run defender than I'd remembered him from the beginning of his career. He's really grown in that. But as a pass rusher, he had a lot of activity in and around the quarterback that, in our opinion, would, if there was a little more production on those particular plays where
Melvin
he had
Ingram,
some really good pass rush moves, he might have his sack total might be twice or three times whatever it is. So he was already producing, I think, a little more than people realize in terms of quarterback pressures, and in the system around the guys that we're playing with, we're encouraged to add him to the competition because it's a group of people. If you want to be a good defense in the National Football League, whether you have to have depth, because it can't be conditional that you're able to really give it your all. And defense can get tiring. You need to be able to have multiple pass rushers from every spot, and edge setters and stack linebackers and all of that, because the second, if you only have one guy, the second that he goes down, we can't have one player dictate the outcome of an entire defense. So I'm pumped about his contribution and where he's at and moving forward, and excited to see him continue to grow in the defense.
You mentioned yesterday that Tua could be super hard on himself. I was curious, is that something you've ever personally had to deal with in your career as for whatnot, how plays work out or whatever? And are there any tips you gave him about how to do that?
It's funny you asked that. I actually I did give him a tip. There was a part in my career where I was contributing to the offensive game plan, and I was amongst the team. The team was experiencing a lot of success at the time, and my particular there were some good games we had, specifically in my portion of the game plan. And then it was a couple weeks. I was younger in my career, and I started feeling pretty good about myself. And then all of a sudden, we had a poor performance, didn't produce, and I got in the tank, and we still won. And I felt like I let the team down. And then I didn't realize until feeling that, how I was totally wrong to begin with, that for me to sit here and think that, for anyone to think that you're the reason you win or lose, you don't get the big picture. And so for you to sit there and be hard on yourself, what is that doing for your teammates? Is that making you better? I'm cool if it makes you better, which is why it's cool to be accountable. But you all of a sudden start going off the rails. Dude, it doesn't matter. People are depending on you. If you make all the plays you want to or not, you still, regardless, you might have the perfect game. We might not win. It's not about that. It's about being your best, but also relying on your teammates. And when you don't do well, or in my case, when I come up with a game plan that is trash, that isn't all on me. Players still have to play. And it's nothing individually. It's all collective. And that's the biggest lesson that I've been able to tell him.
You spoke about this yesterday, the shorter practices, and it's kind of silly to ask you this going into day 2, but how do you balance that incessant need to get everything done versus the need to keep guys fresh? And
very, very challenging. It ends up, you have to be very forthright with the players so they understand that where you're making concessions in reps, that has to be made up in a walkthrough format or whatever. But time has proven that, if you want to be elite at something, you have to deliberately practice it, and practicing at full speed is the only way to truly adjust your full speed play. And so that understanding the value and the intent that you have to have, and the deliberate nature that you have to approach something on each and every rep, the less reps you do, the more critical it becomes. But we believe and have found that if players are treating practice reps closer to game reps, that it is an overall benefit to them, as long as they understand that, hey, we need to make these reps up somewhere.
The O-line as a whole, there had to be something you liked from OTAs and mini camp to keep alignment consistent first day of camp. What was it about guys at their positions that left you encouraged?
That it was the highs and lows, to be honest, because again, we were going against a scheme that was working on building upon what they'd done last year, and they've been doing it for the last couple of years. So in that day one, and without their techniques, they're used to doing it, reps, right? So in that process, you know that they're at a competitive advantage at the very beginning, the first time you step on the field. And then once that happens for one day, you're like, yeah, you have the out. Then how do you respond? How do you correct stuff? That's the nature of the business we're in. And not that anything was perfect. It was that individuals were responding to failures and correcting mistakes, which is why you're encouraged moving forward. And each and every player has that opportunity every snap. So that's why, even if it's also not the biggest deal in the world and unheard of to have guys on the second and third team move up at any position as well. So you're just trying to keep competition high, get the best out of people, and make sure that guys are giving their best effort and getting better each and every day.
And Michael, what were your thoughts on day one, and what's your message heading into day two, and where would you evaluate them on the juice level?
Thoughts. I had several thoughts. But I was very happy with day one because it was a purposeful practice. To me, you can't just say it was a good practice. To me, is that the practice was worth something moving forward, meaning that both sides of the ball had their best intent. So you got an actual physical or physiological rep in the process. And if you weren't successful, then you can actually you won't have to learn that lesson in a game when you're running full speed. So as long as that's happening, if we want, all of our guys want to be a very good team. Very good teams are by nature going to have inter practice adversity, because both sides of the ball should be good. So, they get paid too, basically. So I was happy from that standpoint. And I feel like it put us in a position to get better today. And so then today, they get paid too, basically. So I was happy from that standpoint. And I feel like it put us in a position to get better today. And so then today, I'll be able to validate that, hey, yesterday was a real good practice from that standpoint. And the way that I hope the Miami Dolphins practice moving forward is that both sides of the ball, just like any game with two really good teams, both sides of the ball make their plays, but also handle adversity and go through it, which is what we're getting reps in the hot sweat outside every day.
Thanks.
All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I'm your host, Stephen D. We just had the press conference for Mike McDaniel on day, I guess this is day 2 of training camp, day 3, day 2. I got a lot out of it. I think, by the way, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you guys share. Let people know that we're here. We got a big show lined up for you today. It's you, the fans, and what you think and your interpretation is going on of the #1 Miami fan football team, and that's the Miami Dolphins. So here's my initial reactions to today's press conference. I think that it excites me a lot to see that I enjoy the way he answers questions. Look, I think press conferences are personality reports, right? And you have to see what type of personalities this guy have. And for me, I see somebody who's very thoughtful in his answers. There's somebody who just listening to him wants to I think when you hear some people, they're like, what should I say? What should I not say? Right? They're very calculated in their answers because they don't want to say the wrong thing. What I think this is he's calculated in his answers. Don't get me wrong, but he's trying to best explain it to the reporter or the fan on what he's trying to convey, right? I don't think it's coming from a standpoint of I don't want to say the wrong thing and get the media off on the wrong
He's
foot.
trying to break it down.
He's trying to break it down in the simplest form. And I enjoy listening to his press conferences compared to teams in the past or coaches in the past that we have had. I think that some of the things that stuck out to me from today's press conference was, I like what he talked about Melvin Ingram. For me, that was really big, hearing somebody like I'm interested to see how Melvin Ingram stacks up in this defense. The other thing that I thought was big is he's the one that's going to be in Tua's ear. He's the one that's going to be calling the plays. I think we all knew that. But I think, with all the drama that we had last year and the year before of who's in the person's ear, who's in the quarterback's ear, at one point, I think we had, 2 offensive coordinators and the play caller. And so it was going through 3 different people to get to the quarterback. Now we have just one, A to B. That's it. Right. And I think that that's a big deal to kind of see, the head coach, hey, I'm going to be on the radio in your ear the entire practice, all training camp. I think that's a big deal. So I enjoy that because he's getting them in the mindset of just hearing his voice and because I think sometimes
it lines up their thinking
100%. And I also think that, I hope this doesn't come off as a negative thing for Tua, but I think it's the reality of the situation. Tua wants to make his coach happy, right? He wants to make his teammates happy. And so by hearing inflection in somebody's voice, like your head coach, when he throws an incomplete pass or he does something wrong, he'll start understanding the difference between this is just, fundamental critiquing that I'm giving you. And this is, I'm pissed at you. And I think, or you did a great job. And I think there's something to be said of that there for somebody who's trying to gain their confidence up on a day in, day out level. I like McDaniel. I think the hype is real for him. I don't know. What did you take away from it, Roach?
I've always liked McDaniel, so it just confirmed all my beliefs that I think he's a genuine good guy.
Yep.
I think you could see in the practices and you can see the players, they look more happy than I've ever seen them before.
100%.
And I know it's work. You don't have to love your bosses, but I think it's a big part of football is if the team is united, you tend to play better. And, so I like him. And I actually can't wait to see more throws from Tua today. Hopefully we get to see some.
100%.
Because I like that throw they showed the other day. It was good.
Triple S podcast. What did you think?
It's so hard to say. Like, I agree with what you guys are saying. It's good to hear that the rapport is being built with Tua. Sure. I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm so nihilistic these days, and I just want to see it on the field. I just want to see it on the field. I know I'm kind of a broken record. I've said that before. But whatever happens today.
But Triple S, just to interrupt, these are the building blocks, right? These are the building blocks to make that happen.
I hear you.
I tell people all the time, I think in order to look, this is a very stupid analogy, but my kids like Legos, right? And I explain to them that when they want to make something big and tall, that you have to have a good foundation at the bottom in order for it to not fall over or break or anything, right? And I'm explaining this to them on Legos. And I feel like that same analogy can be used in what the Dolphins are doing here. Right now, they are building the foundation that when they're in the trenches in September, October, November, December, January, maybe even February, right? We all hope. That they know each other inside and out. That just like I said, things like inflection, I think I'm saying the word wrong, but inflection in your voice, on how you're relaying critiques or praise or whatever, you understand that person and where they're coming from. And the three things that I have heard over the last 2 days is this: on-field coaching. Xavier Howard, I saw that yesterday in some tweets. On-field coaching. Teron Armstead, on-field coaching. Tyreek Hill, on-field coaching. And so here's what I have seen, hearing those three guys' names and those things. I'm telling you that I don't remember the last time hearing that many people. Like, I know it's three, but to me, that's a big deal that people are noticing these guys are taking the time to help teach, the younger guys or people that are on there. So that's team camaraderie. That's people that want to help the people that are around them get better.
So let me rephrase, Stephen. I'll say this about what I thought about the press conference. Sounds good. Like you said, there's some good building blocks being laid down. Let's see what it translates to. I'll leave it at those three statements. Sounds good, good building blocks, but let's see what it translates to. That's where I'm at.
How you guys doing?
Sharif, what did you think of the press conference this morning, man?
I think I got a lot more feel for how he wants packages. And it's refreshing to know that he's going to use that same Flores. I need multiple guys to be able to do multiple things, and he exuberated that by saying Connor's going to come in, whether he ends up being the best center or not. He's going to learn inside out, multiple position guys, and then the packages scheme.
Well,
it's refreshing.
Let's pause at Connor Williams. Let's just talk about that real quick, and then I'll let you follow up your thing. As far as Connor Williams,
I think it's all based on packages.
I do. Let me.
I got a lot more feel from that hearing him, especially how he's going to be in Tua's air. I don't know if you guys saw the last video when Tua was throwing.
Can you hear me? I just want to interrupt and talk about Connor Williams real quick. Okay. Connor Williams, I thought it's something that intrigued me, and I want to get your thoughts on it, Sharif, said something to the effect that, okay, we're going to go with Connor. We're going to exhaust. What did he say? We're going to exhaust
every option.
As a fan, there's a side of me that's like, all right, I hear that. But then I also understand that injuries happen and how big depth is. And if you here's why I just have a little bit of a problem with that. Okay. And this is just some pushback for the sake of pushback, right? If you have salary cap room and you have a free agent that's out there that is capable of being a starting center or a quality center, maybe not you don't have to say a starter, but it provides you depth. Why wouldn't you take that avenue of providing more depth for your offensive line? And God forbid an injury happens or something to that effect, or this doesn't work. I think all it does is provide more, defense for you, or a case for you to understand we're doing everything we can to give our quarterback the best opportunity to win football games.
I think when he said quickly to answer that, I think when he says exhaust all options, for the first time we have 3 offensive line coaches, including the tight end coach who also knows Tyree. I forgot the name of it, but he's going to exhaust all of those options. Austin Jackson never had last year. All those Kinley never had these coaches last year. So that's, to me, that's exhausting Dieter to get more education on the insides and the out of these coaches, and that's the exhaust I think that never was here last year.
No, look, I hear that, and I understand what he was saying. I'm not going
to your one thing. See, because Douglas Durong is pulling his hair out. He wants a center. right? But exhausting all the options means you've brought in someone from San Diego, you've brought in another person from, San Francisco, you brought in 3 dudes to coach this line.
He brought
So,
in Matt Applebaum. He brought in Matt Applebaum for Boston
So,
College. I get that,
right.
but I think, and again, I actually think
So you don't need a center if you're going to coach
That's
whoever.
not true. I disagree. I think you need depth.
Well,
But-
that's
and-
what I think exhausting all options mean. It's
May I
not
be
going
next,
out and
please,
getting
Stephen?
someone.
I mean, Steven.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, I've got 3
No,
pretty,
hold on.
pretty
I
interesting
want to finish
takes.
the Connor Williams thing first before we go on. Because is it about Connor? Because I just want to finish.
It is.
this
It is about
situation.
Connor. It's tied to Connor and some of the rest of the things that are being
Try
said.
to keep it to Connor, and because we'll
Okay,
get to everything. I'll
Connor
give you all
Williams
the chance
should
to talk.
never have been moved from guard. What was he's, like I've said multiple times, he is a next to Pro Bowl caliber guard being moved to a new position. It's a mistake. It's a mistake that they didn't pursue depth.
Depth is what I'm about. I don't know if it's a mistake to move him. The depth is the thing for me that I think is the big deal. Because if you have a guy out there in free agency, which there is, by the way, who can provide depth at center, you go out and spend the money and get him in the building.
Then
This is my point all along with Chris Greer. Greer is the problem with this team. He doesn't finish the job that he starts, and I think if we listen very carefully to the coach's takes today, something that was kind of buried in the framework of what he was saying was, in a way, he was saying Dieter and Kinley are not athletic enough to play on the Miami Dolphins.
I don't know if he said that, but
he didn't say it directly. He said it indirectly when he was talking about Connor Williams' athleticism and the reason for his move to center. It was implied, not stated.
No, so what he said was he was the best. I take that, Mark, that he was the best suited to move from guard to center compared to the other guys, whatever that may be, whatever position that may be.
And they both do play
What you're
guard.
saying is Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie don't know what the hell they're doing. They're counting on Austin Jackson and Kinley to work out. That's 3 dudes we're sitting up here saying they don't know what the hell they're. No, Marvin Allen is counting on Austin Jackson and Kinley's of the world to get it right under these offensive line.
All right, hold on 1 second. Rashad, did you have something about the Connor Williams situation? Because I want to stay on this Connor Williams topic for a minute.
I did because if we were paying attention yesterday, he said something about us having one of the younger rosters, how we have players on this team that's going into their 3rd year. Like, we're the number 1 team. I feel like he wants to see what he can get out of them, give them more opportunities than bringing in that depth.
But if it doesn't work, guys, it blows the season. You cannot bring in guys because the first cuts are going to be from 90 to 85. Then you're going to or down to 80. Then you're going to go from a big 80 to 53 cut at the very end of the preseason.
At the very end of training camp.
If you try to bring in players and integrate them in when you've got to go against Bill Belichick, when you've got players trying to learn schemes on the fly, it's going to cost you.
Mark, I actually agree with you here, and so out of everything that I heard in the press conference today, it was the only and it's funny, Andrevius just said it. Listen, Dan Campbell is a player's coach. Y'all just view it differently because he's a large and menacing look. That team is as bad as they. Okay, I'm glad you. So there's a situation in Detroit where Dan Campbell made a remark in his press conference yesterday saying, if I can't get guys to jump, we're in a bad situation, right? He couldn't get guys to work, or the work ethic, from what I took from that. I didn't read the whole thing. I didn't hear the whole thing. I didn't read the whole thing. I just took the cliff notes of what I saw there from the Dan Campbell thing, right?
And so I roster too in Detroit.
And so I take all that, right? I take all that, and I say exactly what Mark said. I have no problem with McDaniel making a statement of, I want to exhaust all things that we have here. What I do have a problem with is at the same time when you're making that statement, if you're not doing your job as a GM in Chris Greer's case, or as McDaniel should be to his GM, we need to make sure we have better depth. If it's Mark, I don't agree with your statement saying that he was saying something negative about the other 2 guys by pumping this other guy up. I disagree with that. But what I will say is if your statement is true, then it would be all the more reason to go out and get a starting center, a caliber center to upgrade the offensive line. So to me, it's not about who's a starting center or not. For me, it's can you provide more depth at that position? And there are clearly talented guys still
And I
sitting
think
on their
I
couch.
just can't understand the fact that you let right.
We
You
have
take a look at
people
Armstead's
in-house.
injury history.
Yeah,
I'm
my
sorry.
thing
Go ahead.
is McKinsey and Allen's pushback is we have guys in house. Please, Applebaum, help them out.
Yes,
Right.
That's their pushback.
And I think that's a very, 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 that's a great idea. Okay, let's let the young guys develop, but there's no reason when you have cap space to not go and get a Riley Reef when you have an Armstead who
I agree
has
wholeheartedly.
got
I think Mark's making real
I
good
mean-
sense right now, guys.
Riley Reef is now a
Mark, we
Chicago
don't
Bear.
really
He never
have the
should have
cap
been a
space,
Chicago
though.
Bear.
You can
We
say
don't
that
really
when
have the cap
there's
space,
quarterbacks available, there's depth and better quarterbacks out there that we can go get. But yet we want to see what we can get out of Tua, right?
Exactly.
Every great football team.
Mark, hold on. Rashad, we're not going to go there because we're specifically having a conversation about Connor Williams and the offensive line, which, by the way, this team for the last 25 years has had so many issues with keeping an offensive line intact or providing depth or even putting a quality offensive line on the field. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Rashad. Where was our offensive line ranked last year?
I believe it was 30th or 31st.
I believe, yeah. So last three. I think we were actually last personally, but neither here or there. Okay. What are we talking about? 31 to 32. Who cares?
Right.
Last, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. So if you want to provide your team with the best chance of upgrading at a particular position, okay, you need to do everything. And Mark is 100% on the nose. If you have salary cap, there is no reason that you should not be exhausting all of your options to upgrade that position.
Rashad's comparison isn't wrong, though.
But God, we
I see what
can
you're
do.
saying, Steven. You don't want to get
There's
into that
still
rabbit
free
hole, but what
agents
Rashad
out
said
there.
isn't wrong.
There's still free agents out there that's better than
the timeout offensive line is where we need the most help. And nobody's going to sit here and argue with me on that.
And guys, I just did an update, right? I checked what's left on our salary cap, and if you look at what we may have to give Christian Wilkins, that's actually what's left, 18.5 million around there, and that's what you're gonna have to give Christian. So if you spend that on an O-line center, then what are you gonna give Christian next year?
Actually, can I address that? Because I look at Spot Rec all the time. Christian Williams already counts 10 million towards next year's cap. The Dolphins are, I think, 10 million over next year, but that's only because the cap is moved from 208 to 218.
We can option it fifth year, right?
Hang on, please. There's going to be another at least $10 million in cap space for every team when the new NFL Sunday ticket deal is announced. Salary cap is not an issue.
Yeah, I'm not worried about next year. I do not care about next year. What I care about is this year and how we make this team better.
And you make this team better by building solid. You build solid in the trenches. The Dolphins have done a lot to build their defensive trenches.
You guys and Chris Greer, because he does care about next year. So you guys are arguing that he should be doing this, he should be doing that. Because you guys just admitted you don't care about next year, but he does clearly.
That's why I'm saying
he's
it's
saving.
Christian
He cares about next year to save
It's not as
his
much in the
tail
red
from being
next year.
fired.
And he knows that he has Gesicki to sign. He knows he has Christian Wilkins to sign.
He's not going to sign
He knows that
Gesicki.
there's
Gesicki's walking.
You never know.
Everybody hold up for a second. Triple S podcast. Let me ask you a question, my man.
Sure.
Okay. We have been we were 32nd on offensive line last year. That's not debatable. Those are facts, right?
Didn't debate it, but go ahead.
Okay. We also know that this offensive line has struggled with a capital S for the last 10 years in the NFL, plus 20 years as far as I'm concerned. We've had 1, maybe 2 years where there was a decent offensive line, but nothing to brag about by any stretch of the imagination. We know that a lot of the excuses that people that support Tua want to bring up is he doesn't have an offensive line. You want to get rid of that excuse, or you want to give your quarterback, whoever it is, an opportunity to be the best quarterback he can be, you give him time in the pocket. You give him time to throw the ball. You give him time to feel safe. And in order to do that, you have to have a solid O-line. Nobody's
I don't disagree with you, Steven.
Okay,
I
so
don't disagree with you. I'm just saying the guy who makes the decisions at the end of the day.
Rashad's point, okay, the reason I have a problem with Rashad's statement is if you have $18 million left in salary cap, I want that to be spent on the O-line. Because as far as I'm concerned, everywhere else is we can win with everywhere else.
They're good enough.
I mean, we also.
Are you guys ready for me to take off? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know when I'm ready.
Also, there's cuts before the season start. We might want to sign some people. There's players that we might want to extend and give them money up for. I hear your point, but also besides that, imagine what we did last offseason. Imagine having the players in-house.
And by the way, I'm not sitting here saying that Connor Williams isn't going to be a great starting center. I think he will be personally, but I also agree that having depth is the most important thing. And if I
know what,
go out and get another starting center, I'm going to get him.
Steven, can I go now?
I just think we need to breathe because what we're really asking, we're asking three guys to freaking just work out. We got Armstead, we got Connor Williams. We're really asking three guys to just freaking work out, man. It's not big. It's not that big a deal. You need three more guys who can just be average. That's what.
Come on, that's too much, man. I just think we're asking too much. That's just a fantasy.
Steven, can I talk now?
Well, let Hangry Al go because Hangry Al came on before you, Vonjo. So let Aldo go and then you, Vonjo. So go ahead, Al. Al, take yourself off mute. Al, I put you on mute, Al. Here, let me take you off myself. Go ahead. Are you there, Al?
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
So, the one thing I do have to say about this whole offensive line situation is I expect them actually to make a big jump for the fact that one of the biggest problems I felt was with the offensive line is the fact that there was no veteran leadership last year.
Yep.
We had Jesse Davis. Jesse Davis should not teach nobody.
Rashad said no, he didn't. You're right, 100%, Al. And now you know who it is, Teron Armstead.
By the way, Robert Hunt will not be average. So you're asking two guys to just freaking be there, just stand up.
You're right. But let Al continue.
And the narrative, Hangry, I'll let you finish, and then I'm gonna let Mongo go. And the narrative that I think these guys will improve. I think Matt Applebaum is the answer to help a lot of these guys improve. I just feel that making the blatant statement that McDaniel made today, that we need to exhaust all of our options before we consider bringing in anybody else, I just bothered me. There's some about it that rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. That's all. And I'm not sitting here trying to make a big deal out of it. I'm just trying to say, look, this is something at the press conference that bothered me a little bit, and that's what it is. Go ahead, Hangry.
That's understandable, but at the same time, I can understand it because look, Austin Jackson, whether we like it or not, he has a very similar athletic profile to a Teron Armstead. So you're getting a guy who can teach basically how to be himself.
Yeah.
And when we have a blessing in the market right now that we're not really paying attention to, that is CJ Treader hasn't gone anywhere.
He hasn't yet, but he could at any moment in time.
But that gives us time to figure out whether our guard play can be even subpar.
To Mark's point, and then I'm gonna let Vonjo go. To Mark's point, we should be doing it now. We should not wait. We should not hold. We should do it now. We should pull the trigger now. That's just my opinion. Go ahead, Vonjo. I want to hear from you, Vonjo.
Congratulations, Steven. Congratulations, panel. Congratulations, chat. Once again, we let a Buffalo Bills fan put us into a panic over what?
What are you talking about, Mark?
Because,
I'm the one who brought
hold on.
Mark made a good
point. He didn't make a good point. Let me finish. Let me finish.
All right, I'll let you finish.
At the end of the day, and you know why I say he didn't make a good point? Because all of a sudden, we don't trust our coaching. We don't trust the eyes we brought in. Hold on.
Everyone's been
go cry in the
so
back room.
Vonjo. Get the out of here.
You're gone for 10 minutes.
Bye, Von Joe. See you later.
Okay.
Now,
So
let me. If I can,
we need to make a correction
on
to something we said, Steven. I'm reading the transcripts.
Yeah.
He said he will be relaying plays directly to Tua this season, not just during the training camp. You said just yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Can I just
okay? Can I go, please?
Well,
Go ahead.
I just want to state for the record that I'm not allowing a Bills fan to take over. I merely agreed with his point that he agreed with, like he took on my take. That's it. That's all that there is here. And again, if you guys don't like Mark, there are plenty of opportunities to get rid of him. But go ahead, Mark.
Right now, I'm coming in as an NFL fan first. I am not dealing with the Buffalo Bills right now. I'm talking about an NFL fan and team and roster management. So I agree with your point, Steven, that you have to build depth, and you need to build it now because you need to build continuity.
Yep.
Continuity becomes critical.
By the way, but where I do disagree with you, Mark, is I don't think he was talking negatively about anybody else, or I don't think he was putting anybody down, sidestepping or whatever.
Well, okay,
and I also,
Steven, I'll accept that. I'll accept that view. But here's what my take, maybe a modified take.
Okay.
If the Dolphins, for any reason, have to play Dieter or they have to play Kinley because of injuries, that may happen, the offense has to be changed a little bit because they are power run blockers, they are not gap and offensive linemen. So you have a scheme
That's where
that's really
coaching come
predicated
in.
on gap and not predicated on power. So if you've got two guys that are basically don't fit the system, and if they have to play, how does the system change when you have to bring in a player who doesn't?
My counter to that is Mark, would be that 3 years ago we had no depth. To have Kinley and Dieter as depth, that's something teams wish they had. Moving on.
Well, no, and Sharif, you bring up a valid point, but what I will also say to you, Sharif, is this, bud, is that in order for the Dolphins to make that next level, they have to have good contingency plans that if something doesn't work out or an injury happens, the next man up is always going to be able to to fill in and produce.
And I would say this too, Steven, like we could remember Tim Ruddy. We don't remember the left guard or the right guard on the side of Tim Ruddy, but Tim Ruddy made them better. My point is Armstead and Connor Williams, who's ever on the side of them, they by nature and the NFL, if anyone knows the game, they will become better. We just need two guys to basically stand up and vomit because you got Robert Hunt, you got Armstead and Connor. What are we asking here? We're asking angels to come out of the sky and move people for us? Dude, we're fine.
I think
we're fine. We're asking too much.
I partly disagree with you there, Sharif, because I feel like there's never not enough that we can do, and we can always.
That's what I'm saying. Then if you know how Tim Ruddy plays, you did not even know the guards next to him. They became better because of Tim Ruddy. If you're not even accepting that, then you don't know how offensive line works. They will get better because they're on the side of Armstead and Connor. Believe that.
That's exactly what I feel.
Up and vomit. That's all. That's all we need them to do.
Hey, where'd you get that saying from? Stand up and vomit.
As I see the Dolphins
McNabb?
right now, the Dolphins have three offensive linemen that we know can play: Hunt, Williams, and Armstead. Eichenberg has not been a success. Jackson has not been a success. Kinley has not been a success.
Y'all don't like Dieter?
And Dieter really hasn't been a success. So the remaining and I have to take a look at teams.
Mark, hold on, bud. I got to disagree with you. They haven't fully developed yet, but I'm not closing the door on them and saying that they're bums or that they've.
So why bring someone in now? And why not wait until you're sure one of them?
I mean, their contracts are almost.
To be good as a bum.
Triple S to answer your question because we have $16+ million and we have a starting center who's available out there.
And we're in the red next year, and we're going to have to sign Christian Williams.
You've got a guard tackle in Daryl Williams who was just released by the Patriots. He is better right now than either Eichenberg or Austin Jackson. And the Bills paid him to be a tackle. He eventually got moved back to guard.
Rashad, here's a real thing. Last year, so who's the guy for Vegas that I kept on?
Ulanair, I believe.
Ulanair, right? We
Illuminor.
said, Illuminor. That's it. We said, hey man, this guy's a bum. We released him. The man for 4 weeks was the best starting offensive lineman in the NFL. Was rated like whatever PFF or whatever. Right. That's ridiculous that we couldn't see that talent there. Now, granted, the same guys aren't in the building today, right? There's different guys, right? But I also know the importance of having depth. So I would personally rather have 8 guys that are all eligible starting players, and we have to cut 1 or 2 of them, right? Or 9 guys, and we have to cut 1 or 2 of them, rather than have 5 great guys and 3 or 4 mediocre guys.
So Steven, if I tell you,
you know what you're saying?
Trade everywhere.
You know what you're saying right now?
Yeah.
So Steven, if I tell you,
you're saying, hold on, wait.
Go ahead.
What you're saying is, let's give a roster spot to death. This is somewhat like the argument with Fedulum and
don't get me started.
I'm saying it's somewhat like the same argument. We're going to have to cut somebody.
We're going to have to cut good players. I get
Yeah.
that. I understand that.
For
But
the
if you
first time.
But Rashad, aren't you of the mindset that competition breeds competition?
Yes, but if I have to cut them, there will be no competition. They've already lost.
But we don't have to cut them in training camp, bro. We can let it play out and see who's the best.
You're right.
I
But
think
we just have to cut somebody to add Muhammad Sanu. That's pretty much what I mean. We're going to.
Here's the reality of the situation, Rashad. We now, as a fan base, have to trust what Applebaum and McDaniel say, right? Like we didn't trust the previous regime. They failed multiple times on the O line, right?
That's what I'm saying, Steven.
So then why not trust them that we don't need to get extra guys? So you're saying
that's
out of
what
one
I'm
side
saying.
you must
So
trust
thank
them,
you.
but out of the other side you're saying we need to go get this guy and this guy.
You know what? That's a fair question, that's a fair statement, Triple S.
That's what I brought up, Steven.
My heart tells me, Sharif and Triple S, is that if you do not build up the depth of the O line, it will be catastrophic to what we want to do, which is win football games.
I mean, I agree. We do need depth. I do. But
Steven, and I'm gonna bring up another point here. That the best teams in the league build inside out, not outside in. Let's just
I
take
agree
the
with
Jets
that.
as an
Jimmy
example.
Johnson. Mhm.
When the Jets wasted their money by signing Le'Veon Bell, that was a classic case of building outside in.
Yes.
They bring in a new general manager. Now what are they doing? They're building inside out. They're building a team around to be able to provide the foundation for their defense to be effective and their offense to be effective by giving their position players where you're paying big money to
And
opportunity to play.
let
And
me
right
just
now,
say
what I
this,
see the
Mark.
Dolphins doing in their system is they're building it outside in instead of inside out.
No, what? See, because one thing I like about Flores and McDaniel is you're not gonna know when players are coming back, and that he's gonna hide that injury factor. But guess what? When Dieter came back, he not only came back and stood up and vomited, he moved people. That means
Yes, he
in-house.
did.
Again with the vomit.
Hold up. That means in-house, the fans hardly know the talent that they had in-house. We found out Dieter was that good when he played, when he came off the injury. We realized we really needed him earlier in the year. So once again, we don't know what we have until Applebaum works with them. We cannot sit here and assume that this person won't be fitted. This person won't be good enough. That person, all we can assume is they will turn Kinley into Jamie Nails. They will turn Eichenberg or Derek Deese. And my question to you, Stephen, is would you like Derek Deese, Robert Jones, Dieter, and who else to be a backup? Dieter, Robert Jones,
Calvin
Kinley.
Beach.
We got that tackle.
Kevin Deach,
What's his name?
Dieter, Kinley, and who else did you call you to put as a backup?
I'm not sure.
Cheddar.
I don't know. But I think if we're designating Eichenberg and Jackson as starters, then Kinley's a backup, Dieter's a backup, Brandon Jones is a backup, Kellen
I think
Deach
Dieter's
from Arizona
will
State's a
start,
backup.
honestly.
Kevin
I
Deach. think those four, that's 9 linemen.
Let me answer your question, right? So Aldo, by the way, says thank you for the $5 donation. Aldo, he said
that's freaking depth.
He goes, at the same time, other teams have to cut quality players. It happens every year. I agree with that, right? And then Mark is the Mike Tannenbaum guys I found out. Okay. Here's my answer. Bonjo, you're welcome to come back. Your 10 minutes is off, buddy.
But Steven, do you like my 9 linemen?
I do, but here's the point of he goes to make the statement in the press conference that we need to exhaust all of our options here. My point is, if there is a better option out there, he might not be there for long. And if you have the cap room and the ability to bring that person in, allow that person to come in and let competition breed competition.
So should we go get Jimmy G?
Why does everybody go back to the quarterback? Why?
It's a simple question, Steven.
It goes.
You get
into
really
what you're
upset about that,
saying.
Steven.
Just say yes or no. It's just a question.
It's not a question, bro. It
literally was.
It bothers
Should
me.
we get him or no?
No, we shouldn't. And
No,
no,
I
we
thought
should
competition would.
I'll tell you
breed
what, if he's a
competition,
free
and the
agent,
best
if
will
he's a
rise.
free
We keep the
agent, and
best
we can get
guy.
him cheap as
We can get him cheap.
If he's a free agent and you can get him as cheap as Teddy Bridgewater, then I don't see why not.
Good
Are
point.
y'all kidding me?
It's a good
Are y'all serious?
I think they are.
It's a simple question.
All right, so put headphones on or watch your feedback on the mic or turn down your radio or whatever your thing. Okay, here's the problem with that question, Triple S. Okay, you all have to understand a couple of things. Number one, Tua's our quarterback.
That ain't got nothing to do with Tua, but go ahead.
Everybody be quiet. McDaniel chose Tua and knew that he was going to have the opportunity to help Tua win football games. That is one of the reasons that he came here. It's not the sole reason. It's not the
Flores chose Tua.
It's one of the reasons.
I agree, Rashad.
McDaniel chose Tua. Okay. Number two. Okay. Teddy Bridgewater is already here. Now, let me ask you, if you think that Jimmy Garoppolo is a major upgrade over Tua and Teddy together, then you know what? I can't help you because I don't agree with that, and we just look at it two different ways.
Steven, I wouldn't say upgrade in any way.
I'm not done. I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is on the same level as those guys, and the biggest difference between Teddy Bridgewater, Tua, and Jimmy, okay, just to put it out there, is Tua has a much higher ceiling because he's younger and he has a more opportunity to grow and still develop. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but when Triple S brings up the question, and I'm sorry to single you out because you're not the only one who brought it up, Triple S. You just happen to be the person who did on the panel. Why wouldn't you bring in Jimmy Garoppolo? Because the Dolphins are not going to bring they're not going to do it. They're not bringing in another quarterback
because they want to see what they have, right?
It's not going to happen. It's
So
not.
Steven,
It's just
Steven,
not.
Steven, let me rebut real quick. I'll be under 30 seconds here. So they won't bring in Jimmy because they want to see what they have, correct? In Tua.
They've
dedicated the season to him, right?
They know that Tua gives them the best chance to win football games.
Steven, I kind of prefaced
I
it
don't know
on
about that,
if
but-
it was
Yeah, let me
same
just say what I was
money
gonna say real quick.
involved.
That we're talking about offensive line and it goes straight to the Tua conversation.
I'm going back to offensive line. Steven, I'm about to go back to offensive line.
So stay on Connor all day.
Real quick.
How many times can we have? No, how many times? I'm upset right now. I'm upset. I apologize. I got you. I'm upset.
He did cover in the conference lineman, quarterback, and play calling.
Flipside Fishing said, Vonjo, this is for you, buddy. Mark and Brandon Jones is a backup. Get the out of here. So Vonjo isn't even on the panel anymore. But so Vonjo, you're gone for another 10 minutes. You weren't even on the panel. All right, so you'll come back at 10:50. Okay. Yeah. So look, it bothers me that we always come back to this. It just I don't.
So Steven, allow me to bring it back to the O-line.
Wait, no,
Steven.
Steven, your interpretation of that super chat was wrong. He was kicking Mark off. Read it again.
Yeah.
Read it again.
So this is for you, buddy. Mark, Brandon. Oh, Mark. Mark, you're gone. Okay.
Mark.
Sorry.
Get the out of here.
All right, Steven, real quick, 20 seconds.
So you're back. You got 10:51. Sorry, Mark. I did interpret that wrong.
Steven, the same way we're dedicating this season, with McDaniel to seeing what Tua can be, why don't we do that with Austin Jackson, who's the same draft class? Why don't we do that with Eichenberg? Why don't we give them that same chance to not even give them if by a couple weeks in we see that we don't like what we see, we go and see what's remaining. There's going to be some guys available. We have to go get them now, especially when we know that we're going to be pressing for cap.
That is a fair question. That is a fair question. And here's my answer to you. If 2 weeks from now, Connor Williams, God forbid, knock on wood, goes down with an injury, right? Like something happens, right? I want to know, do you think that if I told you, well, 2 weeks ago, we had the cap room, we could have brought him in 2 weeks ago and let him, but he signed with somebody else for X number of dollars, and now we lost out on that opportunity.
But Steven, what if one of your corners goes down for the end of the year and you spent your money on an offensive lineman in a preventative measure?
Because in my opinion, we already have way much depth at DB. And if that happens,
Xavier Howard goes down for the year, you'll think differently.
Look, I'll be very upset and I'll be very sad about it. But are we replacing? Is there somebody of Xavier Howard's availability out on the market? And if so, could we afford him with what is currently on this roster?
He said wait till after roster cuts, right? That's what we were talking about. After roster cuts, who's going to be available? There'll probably be somebody available. That's what you wait for.
But
you wait for the 53, man.
No, bro.
Yep, you wait for the 53.
Process.
Because if you blow your money, you spend your money, you can't spend it for what you need while you're spending it for what you want. That's how you end up broke.
Bro, what I'm telling you is at the end of the day, we have cap room and quality starting offensive linemen still sitting at home. Bring them.
And guess what? They're still sitting there. They ain't gone nowhere this whole
Ain't
time.
no NFL team. Ain't no NFL team signed them.
Same way we're giving Tua a chance. Let's give these guys on our roster a chance. One of them might work
case
out.
of J.C. Treader in particularly,
he hasn't even got an offer from
that's going to be a lot of
teams.
running for homeboy in hot South Florida. Like, I'm sure he'll take the money, but he don't want extra money to do it around here. It's a run team. If anything, get a young guy that's 25 years old.
He hasn't even got a contract offer from the team.
Understand something. Some people are like, Steven, why are you so impatient? My whole point to this is in McDaniel's press conference, he stated that, and I'm just going to say it again. He stated, let's exhaust all of our things that we currently have at this time. And my pushback on that, okay, and this is a pushback and this is a conversation, okay, is when you wait, you lose better opportunities to help your team get better because they go somewhere else. Why not bring that in now?
Sounds like you're thinking it's buy one get one. I got to get it now, and that's how you spend. You go in somewhere to spend $20, but it's buy one get one, and so you're going to spend 50.
I can admit two things, Chris. I can admit two things. I can admit, yes, it's FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Like I can admit that. And number two, it also comes from a place of I've seen what this team has done and the mistakes that they have made on O-line in the last 20 years. And to me, that just looks as if though you could potentially make it again. Now, with that being said, I have also said in the same breath and in the same sentence, Chris, that I'm a big fan of Matt Applebaum. What have I said on this show, y'all? Two things can be true. And I have also said that Matt Applebaum was the #1 offseason acquisition of this football team, not Tyreek Hill, because I think Matt Applebaum being the offensive line coach at Boston College and making them a top 10 offensive line in all of college football at an underrated and undervalued program like Boston College. Imagine what he can do with the Miami Dolphins from the 32nd ranked offensive line and where he could possibly take them with the talent that is currently in this roster and just pure talent. He can make them
and
better.
It ain't just him. Every one of these guys is a running game specialist. What are we talking about here?
But I also can also say at the same breath, again, I'm going to keep on going, okay, is we still don't know. It's still a big question mark for Applebaum, right? It's still a question mark. I can have hope. I can have,
who's your answer then? Because you're answering the question.
But I also can feel like, you know what? We should also have insurance. And part of that insurance is going out and getting quality offensive linemen. And then if all of those things don't work out, then you know what? Our franchise is just cursed because we would have done everything. We then would have exhausted every possible scenario to make this team better, in my opinion.
Listen, I agree that there's a chance for upgrade in the offensive line room from currently where we have guys and where I personally rank them. I don't like the fact that people are writing off Liam Eichenberg after a rookie year where he went everywhere on the line. And remember, it's hard. Like, I forget which guy said it, but it's like, he goes, it's like wiping your butt with your right hand and switching to your left. You know what I'm saying?
That's just
and from
weird.
switching side to side. I'm telling you, it was a great. I was cracking up when I heard it. But I'm saying this kid, as a rookie, bounced all over the line. And Eichenberg, Austin Jackson, we've seen flashes, but a lot of inconsistency and bad plays. But athletically profile, he's pretty good. As far as Dieter goes, I'm out on Dieter. A lot of people are still liking Dieter.
How are you
Dieter,
out on
to me,
Dieter?
The book is still
I'll
out
tell you
on
what,
him, bro.
Well,
He was the
book
second best
okay,
offensive lineman we had last year.
everybody says that. Everybody says what you guys are saying about Dieter, but you're also like, oh, Eichenberg and Jackson are done to me. When all I've seen from Dieter is him have a job, and then the next year he get his job took. The only consistency in Dieter is that he's never going to keep his job for stringing years together. So he just lost his job again. He was so good. Why aren't they putting him in at guard? And maybe he will. And I'm sure he is competing at guard with whomever. But he was center last year. Everyone thought he was going to come in starting center. I thought as soon as we signed Connor Williams, he was going to take his job, and that's what happened. And the year before, as a rookie, he played 15 out of 16 games as a rookie, as a guard. And then the next year, Solomon Kinley took his job, and he only played 4. So I'm just saying,
He played 15 out of 16 games year one?
Played 15 out of 16 games as a rookie at the guard position. And he played a lot of snaps. And then the next year came in, and he only played 4 games. So
I thought he was.
Dieter does okay, but and I like Dieter as the backup dude, especially with the versatility inside. But the only pattern I'm seeing so far is that he gets the chance, and then the next year they upgrade out of his position.
So you haven't seen him play better every year?
Here's the funny part about this argument, right? The funny part about this argument that I'm having with you all is we clearly, as Dolphin fans, want the Dolphins to put themselves in the best situation to succeed, correct?
I think you're just 2 weeks ahead of us, where we want to wait a couple weeks and see, and you want it now.
I would think if we thought otherwise, we wouldn't be Dolphin fans
there,
Steven,
and we would have had that opportunity to get him now if they don't like what they see.
Which is understandable.
Now, in 2 weeks, right? Maybe the question gets re-asked to him. What do you think about the progression of the first 2 weeks of training camp on the offensive line, and where do you see these guys? And he could totally say, look, these guys are it. We have our offensive line. They're going to be great. This is what they're going to do, right? What's his face is still out there. Who's the center? Shredder, right? And so maybe they say, you know what, we're just going to go with what we got. And if that's the case, I will then trust in McDaniel to say, you know what, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here. You're new. I haven't seen. I can't judge you if you think this is the best that we can go out with. But don't let this football season come around and we struggle at center and J.C. Treader was available, because I will be all over.
Bold prediction right now, Steven. Bold prediction: Connor Williams will be the center of this team, and not only will he be the center, but he will have his statistically. I think he'll have his statistically highest and be ranked as far as centers go in the league and being towards the top of output in all categories. In all categories.
I just want to say, go ahead. I want to go after you, Steven.
No, go ahead.
I just want to say, after watching McDaniel for the last 3 months, and then before he even came here, what is this guy doing? What is he teaching in class? Watching the videos, I see a 6 offensive lineman coming in sometimes, and I see Smythe and Hunter Long pushing the crap out of people. So that's 8 guys who you like. Dude, when we start running the ball, from what I see McDaniel teaching in class, we're not going to have a problem running the ball. I just think you're asking for too much. 8 guys, Smythe, Hunter Long, and a 6th lineman but the referee will have to announce that. Trust me, that's a wall. What you guys are, dude, you guys are asking for it.
Hunter Long isn't a outstanding run blocker. Y'all know that, right?
Obviously, you haven't seen the 2021 tape. He mauled.
I see.
He mauled.
Okay.
I'm done.
Hunter Long's a pretty decent blocker. And he's put on a little bit of weight on his backside, so I think he'll even be better than he was last year.
Watching Gesicki. He got to learn how to swing his hips in front of people and just get in front of people. And that's why I think he
needs to squat down and get the low ground, and he doesn't.
I think y'all are so hung up on Mike Gesicki's blocking that y'all think that every tight end that does some run blocking is a good run blocker.
I'll say this about Gesicki, right? I just don't know where Gesicki fits in this offense, because here's a couple of things that are going to happen, right? So Daniel Oyefusi was telling me a little bit about that book that he was reading. He was saying, and I want to say he even said it on the show, that Kyle Juszczyk played 60%, if I'm correct, of all the snaps for San Francisco, right?
Single back, yeah.
And
he's normally there.
Yep. And so I'm also pretty sure that Alec Ingold's going to get that. And he said out of those 60%, like 40 of them were from, the tight end position or whatever. And so I don't know how many 2 tight end sets we're going with, but remember, we have Durham, Smythe, and Hunter Long.
Should be a lot, though.
Right?
Along with the option of bringing in a 6 offensive lineman, which we will do because McDaniel
They're going to run 12 personnel out of an offset.
Now, here's what I'm saying. This is just my opinion of the Gesicki situation. And I'm probably going to get cream for this, but that's okay. I'm just telling you how I feel. I think Gesicki is a luxury that we don't necessarily need with the offensive weapons that we currently have and the way that McDaniel seems to institute his offensive game plan. I personally
totally agree with that.
I think it would be in the Dolphins' best interest to trade him this training camp. That would be my
get that second round pick.
Think that's going to happen? No.
Get that second round pick right quick.
But I think that would be in the Dolphins' best interest for not only this year, but in the future moving forward.
Yes, I totally agree.
Y'all
you ignored my Jimmy
Y'all completely went away from what I was talking about. But I get what you're saying about Mike.
But the thing is, right, Rashad,
if you look, let me give you my thought on Mike Gesicki.
But the thing is, if you look at what we've done in the past 3 years, we transitioned off of Van Noy because we brought in Jalen Phillips. We transitioned off of people because we see Greer bringing people in. Say, Greer brought in this guy. Ooh, this guy has to watch his back. And they're gone. Gesicki's next, guys. Hunter Long did not come in for nothing.
Xavier Howard was next too at one point.
Hunter Long and Smythe, because they did not come in for nothing, bro.
Listen, I've been hearing y'all predicting people gone every
year. Every offseason, somebody's gone.
I done heard Xavier Howard getting traded for 4 years. I'm sick.
You know what they always
he just re-signed a contract.
Because he hit his girlfriend and he blew his knee out. That's why Greer got ignominy.
Well,
you just
they
didn't
always
remember
go back to Laramie Tunsil.
Think about
That's
this.
What they always, who did Mike Gesicki hit? When did he get hurt? Like, what are we talking about right here?
The last 2 years, though.
One at a time, guys. One at a time, please.
So the last 2 years, we've been seeing highlights.
They would never address it.
Go ahead, Roach.
I was saying the last 2 seasons, we were seeing tape of Gesicki at these practices, right?
Yeah.
And we were seeing in the offseason him working with Tua. This offseason, no. It's been Tyreek. It's been Waddle.
It's only just begun, though. But yeah,
yeah. So I'm just saying we're seeing a lot less stuff from him and Tua working together than we are.
I haven't really seen him and Tua work out together.
Don't nobody work with Tua more than Lynn Bowden, and I don't think
I've always seen Lynn Bowden. I've never seen Gesicki in the offseason. I've seen Gesicki in this camp, this tight end camp that they got going.
What'd you say about
don't really recall.
I can see
he still is not in the top 10.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I think that
who's not
Steven's
top
right.
10?
He could be traded.
I think he's talking about Madden ratings.
Gatekeeper.
How can you have a tight end camp and you're not even freaking ranked, man?
I didn't hear you again. Steve. Sorry, buddy.
No, I'm just
Mike Gesicki is a top 10 tight end.
Let me just state for the record, real quick. Side note: I cannot, patrol the chat. All I ask is that you're respectful of each other in the chat. And if you're name calling, try not to name call, but I cannot do it. But I will also say that don't be a hater in the chat either. Like if you have mod privileges, like just because you might not like what somebody says, like make it egregious if you're gonna like delete their message or whatever. If it's not egregious, come on, guys.
I don't like people abusing that. That's not
control
cool.
the chat. I will do I will do my best to if somebody is overstepping, then a mod has all rights to do whatever. And if you think I need to go back and further look at it, timestamp it and let me know, and I will look at it after the show. But I can't do it while I'm hosting the show, guys. I'm sitting here in the conversation. If somebody's people,
depend on them to be civil, you know.
Yes, and if somebody's threatening people, then I have no problem with a mod deleting or banning their chat. You know, that's why I have mods.
You can disagree without being a jerk.
Yeah, you don't have to get personal in that way. And listen, Wilding Out Wednesday style, get crunk as can get, but we don't want it to be hateful. It's all in good fun, guys. Relax.
Have some thick skin. If somebody critiques a player you don't like, it doesn't mean
it's such a fine line.
weird.
Sometimes I feel like, but I will say that
it's elementary school stuff, bro. It's elementary school stuff. Relax, everybody. Come on.
Okay. All right. I've addressed it now, right?
Jesus. What are y'all even talking about?
All right, Steve, I want to throw
Don't
something
hate,
here real
meditate.
quick. I ain't said nothing.
Hold on one second, Mark, because Color's in here. What's up, Color?
Bro, I'm not talking about. That's not what I'm talking about, Stephen D. I'm not asking you to police your chat. Okay. What I'm wondering is why everybody's comment gets put up, no matter what it is, no matter how crazy it takes, so we can all talk about it. Why don't you ever put up comments like people keeping receipts so we can talk about just what Gatekeeper is going to do with those receipts? Why don't you ever put up comments like that so the whole public can see it?
Two things. Number one, it's my channel. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Well, I'm just asking. That's why I'm asking.
Number two, I didn't see it.
Why is your preference that way?
I don't know.
Tell the world why your preference is that way. Why we have to sit here and see that stuff all the time.
Color, you got
be called haters.
Color. First of all, you're my man, 100 grand. I love you. I got a lot of love for you. Number two, you're coming at me in a very aggressive demeanor.
Don't you understand why I'm coming at you that way? Because I'm sick of the fucking shit.
All right. Well, first of all, no cussing. Come on, bro. Respect the channel.
Like everybody else does.
Color. We're gonna have a conversation man to man. Let's have a conversation man to man. Two things. Number one, on my channel, I will put up whatever I want to put up at any point in time.
I'm asking the question, Stevie D. I don't doubt that for a second.
Okay, number two. Okay, if I didn't put something up there, it's because I didn't see it, or it didn't speak to me, or it didn't speak to me to put it up on the screen.
That's my question to you. That's my question to you. Why does that stuff never speak to you?
I'd have to.
Why don't you feel the need to show the public that they're saying that nonsense?
Color, I'd have to be like, bro, I'd have to really do some internal thinking about that and go back and look at everything. But I don't know what he said, honestly.
He said something about bringing receipts.
Bullshit receipts nonsense.
Yo,
I'm sick of it.
Color, seriously, bro. I'm asking you to be respectful of my platform.
I'm telling you that I see that as a threat. And if you're not going to stop it, your platform is doing nothing but allowing people to threaten people. I'm sick of it.
Color,
don't get threatened, bro. It's all good.
Color, two things.
Well, then, until he comes up here and tells me what he's going to do with those receipts, I see it as a threat.
Hold on, everybody chill for a second. I'm going to remove everybody except for Color because we're going to have a conversation man to man on a public forum, which I don't normally do, but that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to take everybody off except for Color. Let's get something straight, bro. Number one, on my platform, I promote spread kindness, positivity, and love. You know that. Number two, when I post something, 90% of the time, if I post it and I do it in jest. It looks like it's a troll or it's fun or anything like that. If you perceive it differently, I apologize that you perceived it differently. And if it is something that is serious or accusation or anything like that, then I will go back.
Like you don't even know what I'm talking about, bro. You're acting like you don't even know what I'm talking about, bro.
Color. Two things. Number one, I don't do this on my channel. Only reason I'm doing it is because I respect you and I respect the platform that you have.
Okay.
So let's get that straight right off the bat, because I don't have this drama on my channel at all. Like, I don't like it. I think it's stupid. I don't ever address anything that goes on in the community. And when I do, it's about, hey man, let's move forward. Let's be better. Let's get along.
Except when it comes to people that saying that.
So explain to me what he said. Let's go back and dissect this play by play since you want to bring it
know
up.
what they say all the time, Stephen D.
What did he say, bro?
Look at the chat. He's continuing to say it.
I'm asking you to give me a specific. I'm seeing the chat is crazy right now. So show me exactly what he said and where he said it, and I'll address that. That's all I want you to do. Is there something in particular?
Yes, there's plenty.
Okay, give me an example, please.
Okay, as soon as I get there, why don't you ask the other guy going at it too? Because it's not just me; it's TaylorMade. He's saying the same thing to TaylorMade Jedi. We're both going at him about it.
Okay, I'm looking. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it.
I'm getting there too.
I apologize to everybody. This is normally I don't normally address.
I'm just not going to come around anymore, bro. I'm running from this nonsense. In case you didn't notice, I've been trying to steer clear of this nonsense.
I think you're being very disrespectful on my channel. But what I will say to you is, man, I would love your presence on this channel. It means a lot to me when you come. But if you feel like you're better served not being here, I can't help that. That's how you feel.
That's not what I'm saying, Stephen D.
Well, it is kind of exactly what you're saying.
All I do is take shit like that when I come here. Why would I want to come here?
Color, I don't see anybody. I can't see anybody that's been disrespect for you on the panel. And when it's in the chat, I don't see anything that's been too egregious. And if something is, please let me know and I will try to address it at that time. That's all I'm asking.
It's already scrolled back too far. Okay. I told you what the guy was saying.
Does anybody else know? Because I'm looking in the chat. Keeping receipts only means reminding you of what you said, Robert Trainer said. So is it something about keeping receipts?
Yeah, constantly.
Okay, so what is the problem with that, Color?
Because I want to know what that means. I'm tired of being threatened.
Okay, so here we go. Just so you know, keeping receipts is not a threat. Keeping receipts is a statement.
To who? To you?
I'm just telling you how I've interpreted and how most people I think would interpret the situation. If you interpret it differently, feel free after I state what I believe that it means to feel like that. Color, keeping receipts means that when you say a statement or you state the topic, I'm going to keep the receipts, man. I'm going to
do what with them and do what with them.
Call you out later with it.
Call me out. Call me out now. They're already calling me out.
Color, you have a public platform, right? Understand that when you say stuff, people are gonna that's part of having this platform that comes with the territory, Color.
Bro. Okay, whatever, man. I'm
not
gonna argue about this.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm preaching to you, bro. I'm telling you what it is.
Okay, let's do a poll. How many people in the context that they use that in, how many people might see that as a threat? Let's do a poll.
Okay, I'll do a poll. What is the exact question you want me to say?
Well, obviously, look, Stephen D, I'm not the one that engaged with him first. So obviously TaylorMade Jedi saw it as a threat too.
You felt some type of way about it. So I'm asking you, what do you want me to put in the poll? I'm catering to you on my platform,
want to do this, man. You're not minding me. I told you what I had to say, and that's all I needed to say, bro.
Color, here's what I will say. I will say that I feel very disrespected on my platform from you.
Well, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that.
But I understand.
I get disrespected every single day I come into your platform.
Color, I don't believe that's true. And if you
feel I do. How are you going to tell me you don't believe how I feel disrespected?
You know what? That's true. I retract my previous statement. That is true.
Because it's all about you. I know. It's all about everybody.
Do you feel that way, Color? Really? Do you feel like I'm that guy?
I'm not so sure.
What I would preach to you, my friend, okay, is that in the future when you have an issue like this, don't put it on a public forum. Come to me behind closed doors and say, "Hey, man, I have a problem with this. Can we go back and look at this play-by-play? Can you address this? Because this is a really big issue for me. This is." And at that moment, I'll be like, yeah, man, let's talk about it, Color. Let's have a conversation about it. Let's go look. And if I see something wrong, I will be the first person to be, hey, man, let me go to this person and say that they're being disrespectful.
I just don't know how somebody can't see that as wrong for months and months on end.
Because, Color, I'm hosting a show. I'm doing 50 million things. I'm trying to stay involved in the conversation. Okay. And so I apologize that I didn't see it that way or didn't see it, period. Or if
You're
I did
also well aware of the conflict going on in the community.
I'm well aware that there is conflict going on, but if you notice, I don't ever bring it to my channel.
Oh, unless it's Pete or unless it's somebody saying something about Tua. We can we can make sure everybody knows how much people hate Tua, but we can't make sure people know who's keeping receipts and why. We can't ever get an answer for that. Because to the average person out there, yes, it just means I'm holding to you what you said. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to tell me that there's not people using that to bully people.
And what I will tell you, in my personal opinion, Color, and not trying to be disrespectful in any way, shape, or form, that if that is how you are receiving it, you have two options. A, address it with them one-on-one. Say, hey, man, can we talk privately and have a real conversation about this? Because is this what you're saying? Is this what you're meaning?
Some guy named Gatekeeper in chat, you expect me to have a private conversation with a guy named Gatekeeper?
Bro, I'm a grown man, and if I have a problem with somebody, I'm going to
the guy's name is literally Gatekeeper. Stephen D.
I understand how you feel, bro, but what I'm telling you is that's how I address situations with people.
Okay,
I'm a stand-up guy.
Then that's where you and I differ, bro.
And that's fine. And I'm sorry and again, I'm sorry that when you come to my platform that you are having the experience that you're having. I'm sincere about that. That's not what I want. I want everybody. What I want is when people come to Miami Sports Music Podcast Network or they come to Clock Blockers, is that they come to have a good time. We started the kicking off people or whatever as a way to have fun, as a way for the fans to control the narrative on what they think the channel should be, right? And so at the end of the day, I feel like I do everything in the constitute of we're all kind to each other, we're all fun, and if we have a debate or a high heated debate, we shake hands afterwards and it's all good. That's why I have Wildin' Out Wednesday, so we can get to that level without being disrespectful, right? And so if you felt that when you came to my channel, you felt threatened, or I apologize about that. And if you can show me exactly the timestamps and things that were said, because I think during a live, you can go back and rewatch stuff when you're on YouTube and like scroll back the time and see the chats that are there for the live stream. Take a screenshot of it, send it to me. Let me address it play by play with whoever that it is. And I promise you, Color, I am the type of person that you can come to like that. I am that good of a guy. I don't claim to be something I'm not. I've never been that way. That's how I feel about it. And I am sorry that you feel that you have been disrespected and threatened on my channel. That's not in any way, shape, or form.
I'm not the only one, bro. You act like I'm the only one.
Color, if anybody
else, I'm not the first person that went back against him.
Color, what I will also say to you,
one of your other audience members is the first one that went back on it.
Color, what I will say to you, my friend, is when you go to anybody, or here's what I'm not even going to say this to you. I'm going to address it to anybody. If anybody has an issue on my channel or in my chat, if you feel violated or you feel disrespected in some way, shape, or form, I have at Stephen D SKPO. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and you can address me. And I promise.
What happens here, though, Stephen D? Everybody knows what people are saying when they're saying that, but as soon as somebody like me calls it out, it's throw the hands up. What do you mean? He was just being honest and just saying he was gonna hold you to what you said and all. No, I'm done with that. No,
well, Color,
they know exactly what they're doing,
Color,
bro.
I think that I've come to you like a man. I think I've respected you and your feelings. I think that I've validated them as well. I think I've done everything that I can do in this particular situation. The only thing that I would ask is that maybe behind closed doors, you and I have a real conversation one-on-one. I think we should have that. Okay. And the other thing I think you should also do is go back and try to timestamp those things, because I do want to address them if they are bothering you. And now we might say at the end of it, hey, we just looked at it differently. I apologize you feel that way. I don't think that's egregious, or I don't, or you do.
How many people have told you they're keeping receipts because you said that
I get that all the time. Do you know how many people say that to me all the time?
Okay, so you got people constantly telling you they're going to keep receipts on your offensive line take?
Yes.
Okay.
That is part of having a channel.
It's different when a friend comes to you and says they're keeping receipts other than a guy named Gatekeeper, who's part of a community that's known to be going around bullying people.
I don't know Gatekeeper except for him on my channel.
I don't know him either. Maybe he ought to change his name so people don't assume that.
I can't, Color, I can't help how people feel, bro.
Well, there you go. And you can't help how people perceive it. You can't help how I perceive it.
Right.
But you're not going to sit here and tell me that I'm being delirious or delusional.
Did those words ever come out of my mouth?
Might as well.
No.
You're putting it on me, bro.
Color.
Because of my reaction.
Color. I have done nothing here but validate your feelings, keep it real with you, keep it like I've listened to you. I kicked everybody off the panel and stopped my morning show to listen to you because that's how much I care about you.
Well,
so I don't know what else you want for me to do. I don't.
Yeah, and so we're at. I'll just sit down and shut up and be a good little boy. Okay, I'm sorry. I disrespected your platform.
I think you and I need to have a conversation behind closed doors. I think after the show today, if you and I want to have a phone conversation, we can have that. But I think that's what we should do as friends and as professionals. But the way that this is going on, I just feel all I want to do is validate. I'm sorry that's how you feel, and say that let's address this at another time.
I just want one person to tell me what they're going to do with those receipts, and don't tell me you're just going to call me out later on.
But that's all that it means, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I can't speak for what Gatekeeper means or not means.
You haven't had it directed at you the same way, in my opinion.
I think I perceived it differently. I've had Gatekeeper say, "Hey, Steven, I'm keeping the receipts," but I've also had
there ain't nobody that thinks they can touch you, bro.
I'm not about that life, bro. I don't care. Like I'm not like it to me. To me, I am not here to have arguments or beef with somebody. I am here to enjoy Miami Dolphins content with my Fins family and my Finlaws. That's the only reason I ever started this channel. That's it. I do this every morning, Tuesday through Friday, sometimes on Mondays, Monday through Friday, starting this coming up week. But that's the only reason I started this channel, Color. Like I do this because I love the Dolphins and I love the Dolphins fans. And yes, there is a lot of animosity and division within the fan base right now, and that sucks. But I can promise you, I feel like I've been one of those people that have been advocating this is what you need to do, or this is what we need to do. We need to stop all this. We need to love each other. We need to be kind to each other. If you don't agree with somebody's take, that's fine. If you don't think that somebody's talking to you in a manner that's away for you, then ignore that person or get away from that. So here's
that's all I told you I was going to do.
And I, again, that would suck because I think that when you come up here, you have really good, valid points. I think you are able to state things in a way that make me want to listen and hear you more. But if you feel that you're not safe up here, all I can do is say, let's address it behind closed doors and let's go at it. And then after that, at that point, if you still feel that way, then I'm sorry. Then that'll be what it is. But I want to address it with you behind closed doors and look at things individually. That's what I would say.
Well, I'd love to, but nobody's ever offered that to me.
But I have.
Everybody sits up on these panels and says, "Oh, everybody can call us." I don't know why they say the things. No, nobody's given me their phone number. Matter of fact, I give everybody mine, but they don't reciprocate. So I'm starting to feel some kind of way about that too. What are y'all doing with my phone number?
I don't know, Color. All I can tell you, bro, is that I love you, and I'm serious when I say that. I'm not. That's a real thing. I got a lot of love for you, man. And I want.
Don't ignore Andrevius's super chat because you're really going to have problems if you do that, bro.
Color.
Put me aside a second, okay, and do what you're supposed to do, bro.
We're going to talk after this. I got a lot of love for you. I do feel very disrespected, but I want you to know that I'm never going to hold that against you, and I want to have a conversation with you man to man behind closed doors.
Well, that's fine. My issue wasn't with you. Look, you got Magoda Valoa saying, "Color, it's all love." That's what I'm addressing. I'm addressing the people that keep saying that. I want people like Magoda Valoa to say that because then it marginalizes people like Gatekeeper.
so you what you want is to feel more love.
No,
And
I want somebody besides two people in the chat to tell people, look, what you gonna do with these damn receipts, man? Quit saying that nonsense,
bro. You're cussing on the panel. I'm asking you to respect the platform. Number two, I will also tell you, I have told this on my platform a million times. It is tough for me to host a show and police the platform. And when there is any situation, I feel like there are plenty of opportunities for somebody to come to me after the show. And by the way, people have come to me after the show and said, "Hey man, can we talk about this?" You have never come at me behind closed doors. You've never addressed this with me off camera in a way that
I've never had the opportunity.
Whatever the case may be. That's how I would go about doing it with somebody. I would always go behind closed doors first and approach that person man to man. Look, this is what the deal is, and I'm having an issue with it, and I love your platform, but I want to talk to you about this. Okay, let's have a conversation. And I will do that with you. What I'm asking you to do right now is just understand that I'm trying to host the show. I literally stopped everything to address this with you because of my respect and love for you. That's all it is.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, but you got to understand. You got to understand though. When there's no outlet for people, they're going to come in through the front door.
And all I can tell you is having a public forum or a public platform.
Not to excuse myself, but to apologize for the disrespect.
And all I can tell you is that on a public platform, you're going to have the I'm sorry, I'm getting getting a lot of people sending me text. On a public platform, you are going to have people that criticize you or hold you accountable to the words that you say. That's just part of having a public
platform. This is not my public platform. I am here in a private capacity as your audience member.
But when you put anything out in public, that's like that's part of the
then come on my show. Okay, so then we're at a fair point. We're at a fair point. Gatekeeper, don't do this here, please. I'm asking you people, you guys, I'm asking everybody in the chat politely. Okay, and this is maybe where we can come to some fairness, Stephen D. Okay, again, I apologize for the disrespect. Okay, but I'd like to ask the audience politely to remember that when I come in here, I'm one of you. Okay, I have to get my content too. I have to enjoy myself too. Okay, and when I come into these other places, I'm in a private capacity. If you want to address me, if you want to let me know that you got receipts, I'm not talking about debating my football takes. That's fine. But if you're going to tell me things like you got receipts, you need to come to my platform and tell me that.
Can I make a suggestion to you?
Sure.
Okay. My suggestion to you is that you only, when somebody says that to you, you address it in a way, for example, like this. Hey man, look, I hear you telling me that you got receipts. I would love to have that conversation with you on my panel. Would you be willing to come on my panel and discuss it? And if they proceed to keep on going, they're not worth your time. If they say yes, then you invite them onto your show. And if they say no, you still ignore them. They're not worth your time.
Fair enough.
That would be my suggestion to you.
Fair enough.
Now, what's going to happen here is I'm going to bring people back on. And people are going to have opinions about this. So I don't want you to get upset if somebody feels some type of way about this. Okay. So I'm going to bring people back on.
You have addressed what I was upset about. So anything beyond that is people's opinion anyway.
Yep.
I just asked for people to respect my space when I'm not on my platform.
And what I would say to you,
they respect everybody else, Stephen D.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I got you. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in the back room so you can take a breather. I'm gonna bring the people back on. I'm sure people are gonna want to address this, and I'm going to have to address this because it was on a public forum and on my channel.
Sure.
So, but I want to say that what I would like
I am
to you after the show on the phone.
That's fine. That's fine. And I'm anxious to hear the panel's opinion, bro.
Okay.
I know how to correct myself.
Thank you. All right, Color. I love you, brother. Be good. I'm going to put you in the back room for now. Okay. Let me bring on everybody else. What's up, Roach? Roach is just chilling. Roach.
Hey, Color, we love you, man.
What's up,
love
man?
you. Love you. Appreciate you. Stay up, Color.
What the hell was that?
Okay.
Hey, Color, we love you. Color,
Is anybody
part
more
of the
involved in
Dolphin
this
team.
panel than me? I mean,
Hey,
my God, I
hey,
am
pass
attacked
it,
every
man.
day.
You can't be smoking
Far
all,
worse
man.
than Color's attacked. And Color, I understand your point if you feel threatened in some capacity. I hope there's no violence associated with that. But you folks come on here. I put on my takes. Some of you vehemently disagree with me, which is, of course, your right to do. But I also think that whole last 25 minutes was something that wasn't necessary. It's not consistent with what the program is about. We were talking about the Dolphins' offensive line, and not because somebody keeps receipts. Who cares?
But I can push back and say he's our Dolphin, and he's allowed to do that on this platform. He's allowed.
Hold on 1 second. Let me bring on EM because I know EM's got something to say, and I don't want to.
Yeah, but I just want to tell, and we can't go on your Buffalo fans platform.
You have major background, EM. You got to turn your thing down.
Any Dolphin is allowed the therapy here, any platform for that matter. So you saying that, sir, we cannot go on your Buffalo platform and then try to get our community right. He has a right to do that. We love you, Color.
Mark, scatter this. This is Dolphins.
But I don't care what program we had.
You might not have a say in this, but KP, what's up, KP? How are you?
Yo, Color for president, man. Color for president.
Okay. That's all I know. I love him. He's a good guy.
I gotta relax.
I think part of this though, you have to learn to ignore things in the chat
Mark,
when you're on a show.
I'm gonna bring you back on.
No, I think
especially in the community I'm in, I get called crazy all the time. I get called like you won't believe that some of the tweets I get.
Listen,
all
though,
this stuff attacking me.
We had this about a month ago, Roach.
But given what's happened to Irving,
are you still getting feedback?
Summer,
Hold on 1 second. Let EM go. Let EM go. Go ahead.
How's my audio? Is it fine?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Clear.
I'm still trying to figure out what happened, but I will say this though, I do have a small issue with you, Stephen D.
I know you called me a hypocrite, so I want to know.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't. Again,
please proceed.
I don't know what happened. I caught in on the tail end of the situation. I really don't even know what transpired. But
I'm all ear because I'm deaf out of 1 ear, so I can only.
But what I did catch was, and again, this is no shade at Color in any by any means, but Color turns up. Color gets he's animated and he's he's very vocal about what's troubling him or whatever the issue is, right?
Yeah.
So my only issue is Color gets the love from you and Color, the passion that Color shows. But EM Dolphin fan can do the exact same thing, exact same scenario, and EM is the one that's EM is causing problems. That's the only issue I have. And also you put.
I blame you. I blame you for this, EM, because you're the one.
I know everybody always blaming EM, bro. Everybody always blaming EM, bro.
You got receipts on everybody.
Yeah. So I think Stephen D, you're very hypocritical, my friend. Very hypocritical.
EM came to me about a month ago and said he ain't forgot about what I said.
All right, I love you, brother. Hold on. EM called me I want to address it. Okay.
Wait. Let's make the panel everybody who's mad at Steven and get everybody up here. And you can hash out. We can make this. This could be the Maury episode.
Want to do it? That's fine.
Is it a race thing or what? I don't know. Is it a race thing or what? I don't know.
I think what happens.
I'm starting to feel like Odell Beckham right now. I'm starting to feel like Odell Beckham right now, bro.
I think what happens.
Odell. Tom Brady's on the sideline screaming at people.
Relax.
Hang on. Tom Brady's on the sideline screaming at people and all in people's face, spitting in people's face. But all of a sudden, it's passion when he does it. But when Odell does it, it's a problem. I'm starting to feel like Odell. That's all I'm saying.
Brian Cox got in trouble.
You are a little bit like the angry black man.
I'm going to start kicking people off. I need everybody to be quiet for a minute. EM, I'm going to ask you one more time. Explain to me so I fully understand and then allow me to rebuttal how I am hypocritical.
The floor is yours. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking you. I don't understand.
What's that?
I don't understand why you think I'm hypocritical. I'm asking.
Oh, well, for one, you kicked me off the show yesterday, and all I said was "damn." But and again,
Ian, I kicked you off because you were at your $5 swear jar. That is a rule for everybody.
Well, I can imagine how many fines Color accumulated on his tirade, but you didn't kick him off.
I allowed him the opportunity to address the situation at that particular moment in time. And you are correct. Color does owe. I'll have to go back and see exactly what Color owes. But yes.
Listen, for the most part, I'm trolling about that part. But yeah, I don't necessarily mean I'm trolling you right now, Steve. But I mean, for the most part, this is directed towards these idiots in the comments, bro. You know, I see people in the comments, they're all like, Color, the passion, the color passion is the passion that Color is showing, and that's fine. It's no shade at Color at all. It's these idiots, these two-faced idiots in the comments, these hypocritical idiots in the comments that Color does, you know, or not just Color, but other individuals, all the passion. But when EM is up here, turned up, and you know, and I know I get animated, just like as animated as anybody else. But they want to demonize me. And, you know, and label me as a troublemaker. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to point out the hypocrisy. That's all.
There's a little difference. I can explain the difference a little bit.
Hold on one second, Rose. And here's my thought to that, EM. My thought to that is when anybody comes on my platform, I, in the beginning, you know, allowed some things to happen, and I was called out on some of that stuff because I am Mr. Spread Kindness. But I'll tell you, Andrevius called me out, and I'm glad that he did. Because what I try, and I'm not perfect, and there are times that I'm sure there are times in the since he's called me out that there might be one or two times that there may have been I didn't treat somebody both fair the same way, and if that happens, I apologize. But what I can tell you for the most part, I try to every day keep everybody accountable to the same standards and to the same levels. And if you think something should be different, by all means, I've always said, well, let's change the rules or let's do something, right? And so I feel like at least on my platform, that's all I can control, right? What's going on the panel. In the chat, I've clearly stated on numerous occasions, I cannot control the chat. And I think that if you're being egregious, then we have a situation where I'll address it at that time. And so as far as you go, EM, I love you and I welcome you on my show. I think but I also think that when you get on your tirade, there's no stopping you, right? And you can go off a little bit and you know that. I'm not telling you
reciprocate.
You don't know, right? And so I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is when, okay, I try to have a morning show. I don't want cussing on my channel as least amount as possible. That's why the swear jar is there, right? To hold that so that there's not. The other thing I also want too is to also have the opportunity for people to have reasonable debates with each other. And when we start with name calling and calling people stupid or whatever, that's when people realize, okay, now it's not just about my take anymore. Now you're calling me. That's not what we're doing. I can say that.
Can I add a little something here, Stephen?
Yes.
Where have you ever known me to call anybody name? I'm sorry, KP. Go ahead. I'm sorry, KP. Go ahead.
You know you have.
You just did.
You never known me to call anybody
an idiot.
Yes, you have. EM. You better.
Well, hey, Stephen. Listen. When you look at Color's reaction, right? Yes. You got to consider the context of what has been happening this summer, right? You've had the personal attacks on TD and his family, right? You've had the doxing of Irvin, right?
Yep.
Pete just reported that something similar happened to him, although I didn't get all the details on that, right? Okay. So all this stuff has made some people more sensitive to than others. Color's the kind of guy you want on your side in a bar fight. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting jumped, he's going to jump in on your side.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where his passion comes from. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand it within that context.
Look, I do understand it within that context, but I can't control what other people do on Twitter or other people's panels. All I can control is what happens on Miami Sports Music. And I can only control as best as possible. Like if somebody comes out and says some wild stuff right now, all I can do is kick them off and apologize for what they said. If they said something outrageous, racist, crazy, sexist, whatever, right? Or whatever. That's all I can do at that particular point. Or if it's something that I don't realize is disrespectful and I get called out on it later, all I can say is, hey, look, yesterday or earlier on the show, somebody said something on the panel and it got there, right? and I can apologize for it at that point. But I'm not perfect. I don't think anybody is. And I also think that people interpret things differently. And when you interpret things differently, I think you're also going to get people that you're correct. There won't be some sensitivity. I don't see sensitivity as a bad thing, by the way. I think that gets a negative connotation to it. I think it's okay to be sensitive. You know,
I think there's a race element in play here, and you know what I mean. That's what I think, but that's fine. You know, it's cool. You know, I understand.
So, Em, let's talk about it. Em, you know, I'm in an interracial marriage, right? So you know, I have no problem addressing.
Can I say something to that first, please?
Stephen, I don't listen. Stephen, you know, I have no issues discussing anything.
Yeah.
Anything, right?
Yep.
But I just don't know. I don't know if you really want to open that
something?
can of worms on your platform, bro. I really don't think so.
That's fair.
That's
But
why I want to just interject,
on my
please.
platform, I don't think it has any. There is none of that happens on my platform in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Can I just interject?
I don't want to. You know, I don't think. I don't want to. I don't want to do that to you. Again, I could give a fuck. I will discuss anything, anytime, anywhere. But I just don't want to. I don't want to bring that because you know people are gonna interpret that completely, you know, the wrong way. They're not gonna. You know, if we open that can of worms, they're gonna jump. They're not gonna listen. They're gonna hear the conversation, but they're not gonna listen. So they already have it. So for those. So for my haters and the idiots out there that always are trying to look for something on EM to try to hang me on, they're going to spin this some type of way, and it's going to go to Twitter, and it's going to spiral out. It's going to go viral, more than likely. I don't want to bring that type of exposure to your platform.
And I don't want that exposure to my platform. You are 100% correct. But I also want to be very respectful to everybody, race, religion, sex, sexual orientation. Everybody's welcome on my show. I do not care. And
One thing
I've made that known since day one. And if you feel differently about that, then by all means, let's have a conversation.
You know who I feel bad for, Steve? I feel bad for you because your show has got totally derailed.
I was
you know what I mean? Because people can't just ignore each other in the chat. That's really what it boils down to.
And that's what I was going to address. And I'm going to head to work, guys. I love you all. But I just want to say this. I speak to people on Clubhouse. I can't count the thousands because I'm a holistic health coach. So we debate science and nature and molecules and nutrition. And the thing is,
I love you, Ian, just so you know.
People are going to be against you or with you. When I go in Twitter Spaces and speak health, people are ignorant. Therefore, they are going to be in the comments commenting. They don't. My point is, look at my YouTube channel. I'm speaking about holistic health, and there are people out there that are going to comment.
Did you see Pete's comment at 11:33?
My thing is, once you enter this place of where you have YouTube or where you have access to educate people or to be educated, and you're in a classroom or you're in a group setting like this, you're open to that. And if you pay attention to the people down in the comments who have a right to say whatever they want, that is when this is not for you. The stage is not for you. The place where a lot of people can fire back, or it's not for you, because then what will happen is you're paying attention to people who have a right to come on your show or to have a different opinion of yours. And if that triggers you, that this is not the thing for you.
So, all right, hold on one second. Let me stop this for a second. This is not how I pride myself on trying to keep this a very sports topic related show. I think there are times when things need to be addressed. I think there are times that it's okay for those things to be addressed. This is not in any way, shape, or form how I wanted to go to the show today. So I do apologize to the listeners that are here for sports and are here to talk Dolphins talk, because that's all I really want to talk about. Now, what I will say is that there are a million things that are going on, and I don't know if we can move away from this today. I could be wrong. I'm just telling you how I feel about it right now, right? So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do final thoughts of the day and kind of regroup, because that's what I need to do for today. What I want y'all to know is that I love each and every one of y'all. I accept everybody on their own platform. I accept everybody on this platform. There's no hate. There's nothing to this here. And if you ever want to have a conversation with me one-on-one, by all means, I want to have that conversation with you. EM, you got kicked off, man. Like that's part of if you want to wait the 10 minutes and have a conversation, we can do that. We can have it. EM, matter of fact, go get in the back room and I'll actually, are you on Twitter? Get on Twitter and I will send you my phone number and we can have a conversation behind closed doors too. Okay. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to make everybody happy on my platform. That's fine. I get that. I understand that. But I also know that, people are going to feel some type of way, and I want everybody to feel like they're welcome here on this channel. And if you don't feel that way, that's not the environment that I want to have. Okay. Now, I can't help how anybody else feels. I can only try to do the best I can with what my thing said. So, that's what I'm going to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do final thoughts. I'm not even gonna do final thoughts. I love you guys. You guys are great. I'm kicking y'all off the panel right now.
I got one thing to say.
And I will be back tomorrow. We'll do tomorrow, and that's where I'll go with this. So I love it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kicking everybody off because not how I wanted the show to go today,
dude.
But I understand it. I love y'all. And tomorrow we will come back and we will be better and we will
talk football.
We'll talk football tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to kill it. But yes. Because this is not the environment that I want to have or the conversation. This is, yeah. So I love y'all. I will address everything tomorrow and I will have conversations with who I need to have conversations with. And then we'll go from there. Okay. So I love you guys and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.